How does that begin shaping our experience here?
I think everyone knows that, you know, the main difference. The premise crew got to go on a very kind of emotional journey, searching for their souls and trying to save them and everything. Whereas Ultimus were a bit more goofy, stumbling around, having a bit of a laugh and not caring too much about the fate of the universe. Now under Nikolai's leadership, you know, obviously he's going to first of all find out that things weren't quite as simple as he thought. And, you know, Richtofen always had reasons for keeping secrets to himself. Nikolai's going to struggle a little bit with that. Because once you've read that chronorium and you know what's coming, should you tell people, or do you try and just nudge them along? Or did the book say that you never told them? It's a real can of worms, but like I say, getting the different versions of the characters in the same map, you really, really see the contrast, you know. Richtofen, Ultimus Richtofen, insane. Utterly insane. I mean, Primus is only marginally more stable, but he's got kind of a mellower soul. Drunk Nikolai bumbling around looking for his vodka and going on about his ex-wives. As I say, it's kind of a reminder of how far the characters have come and seeing what they do and don't recognize.
السلام عليكم يا ولكم منورين. يا هلا يا هلا.
Yes.
صوت واضح؟
Well, tell us, was that a bit of a reunion of sorts? Was it a walk down memory lane from a narrative standpoint in terms of like how those personalities?
In a weird way, it's funny. I remember saying this when we did Classified, because we'd spent so long with Primus since Origins forward, really, and we tried to make them more realistic and give them a lot more emotional resonance, which I definitely think we achieved. You know, if you look at the Black Ops 3 season and all those death scenes, it was nice to see people crying as much as I actually cried when I wrote some of them.
Okay, تمام.
We did Classified.
طبعا انا ما راح العب الزومبي بس يعني
you know, and
نتفرج
that
نشوف.
emotional journey that we'd taken them on, that was hugely important to me. So when we first decided to go back to
نحط
Ultimus,
الكومنتات.
a little part of me was a bit, they weren't as much fun, they didn't have as much.
Oh,
But
معليش.
once I started writing the jokes again and making myself laugh a lot,
Yeah.
and hopefully other people, it's no good if it's just me that laughs, but you know, so initially there was a bit of a resistance from me to bring back Ultimus because I thought we'd progress the characters.
Yeah.
But doing Classified and then doing this where we get them together, it's, you know, it's the best of both worlds. It really is.
All right. So here we are. We find ourselves back in Newtown.
Yep.
Take us on a stroll, Greg.
Take us on a stroll. Well, look, there's a bus. It's not the bus. It's not going anywhere. That's not to say that Ted isn't necessarily going to appear somewhere down the line.
ايش البرك هذا؟ في برك
He's a
غريب.
robot. He's kind of difficult to get rid of. So like I was saying earlier, a lot of these areas are going to be familiar to people. Obviously with a slight twist. There's going to be lots of, like every time we do a map, you know, it gets its own sheen on it. But this, like I said earlier, literally just represents
عدل في
small
المنطقة
fraction
هذه
of actually
شوية
what's
كذا.
there to be discovered. So, you know, we let people start off thinking they know what they're getting into, and then as they get deeper into the game, we obviously pull the rug out from under them and suddenly
والله اللي يلعب مرة نوب.
what's coming next.
في برك ذيب غريب.
Talk to me a little bit about
ترجمة
the
مغطية عليه.
environment. To me, I
ثواني.
mean, it
اوه خليني نشيل هذا بس.
It is, and in fact, that's one of the things that the characters will talk quite a lot about. Is, in fact, I think
شيل
it's
الترجمة شوية استنى.
Ultimus Nikolai. It says,
برك
"Who
ذيب.
are billionaires who live in such luxury?" So they
أوه،
all
هذه
have
المنطقة
their
اللي تحت الأرض.
impressions of what's going on in the map. But as you see, now
طبعا
we're
أدري
starting to
في
go into
كثيرين
some
في
of the
القناة ما راح
lower
يهتموا
levels,
بس
into
يعني
the broken
ايش هذا
arrow
البرك؟
facility where
هنا في محل البرك
like
أصفر.
all our good scientific research groups, they've been doing all sorts of things that they maybe shouldn't have been doing, or definitely had consequences that they may not have expected.
As we find ourselves down here in the bunker,
صممنا كتان
talk to us a
زومبي
little
ولا
bit about
كبسة.
kind of the
يبي
size of
بدري
the
أدري.
experience, because
بس في
I've seen
تعديلات.
things in
اوه
Newtown
شوف الدوغز ايش عليه كهرب
I
الدوغز.
haven't seen before.
Yeah, but it's of a magnitude of 4, I think is the right way to say it. 4 times bigger. What you used to see was a quarter of what's really there now. I'm just approaching statistics in different ways here, and none of them are very well, but yeah, it's at least 4 times the size of what Newtown originally was.
What were some of your favorite elements to build back into this experience?
Well, I mean, the biggest one for me really was narrative, to kind of get into the narrative history of the building. I mean, I remember people asking me years and years ago, why was Marlton in the bunker? So you know that's something that we're going to get to revisit a little bit, shall we say? So I think
في فخ هنا فخ غريب.
even beyond
Nice.
what people actually knew of Nuketown, there was just a
تطوير
lot of
هنا.
very significant
خلوه
narrative
ثابت.
threads that we knew that we
تطوير
had
ثابت.
to come back to. I mean, we
بلاك اوبس 2
explored a
كان
little bit
متغير
of Broken
وكانت
Arrow
تنزل
in
من
the
فوق
comic book
وهرجة.
series we did a couple of years ago with the
عليكم
Victor's
السلام
crew.
ملكم شمس.
We saw some of Russman's history to that. But this is much more of a deep dive, and you will get to
ولكم
see
يا ولكم
some of the
نورين
things
هلا.
they are responsible for, including some
Wrong with
twists
the-
on traditional enemies and traditional weapons. I think you saw some lightning hounds running around there who are a little bit of a variation on the usual
إيه فخ كهرباء هنا. فخ كهرباء.
hellhounds.
A note for viewers. This
Yes.
is a sort of pre-release build. There's some temp audio in there, so
Yeah, it might be some of mine. So if you hear a Scottish person or a robot yelling out, that's just because this build is before
يا
we had
زومبي.
implemented in the actual
لا مش
actors.
فاهم.
That's another thing. God, they had fun.
هذا عرض
with
الزومبي.
characters.
but that'll sound a little different tomorrow when it's out.
Yes.
هنا بدي تصير
okay.
استراتيجية. يب بس قياس يا
So
رجال.
let prior to just over the last couple of days, we've seen the Ray Gun Mark II.
Oh yeah, the Ray Gun
teased
Mark II.
on our social channels. Talk to us about the Ray Gun Mark II.
Well,
حطير
ray
ريجا
guns
مارك
have got a
2.
long history in zombies, and you know people
في
always
شيء يا أروان ايش هذا يا عيال
like to see
الأروان؟
the ray gun coming back.
أبغى يرميها
And this
شوف
time
شو
the ray gun Mark II is coming back with a very special twist. I don't want to explain exactly how it functions, but let's just say you can modify it or put it together in a number of different ways that significantly alter its functionality. So it kind of
يقول لك
becomes
عدلوا
a
مارك 2 تقدر تسوي فيه
customize
الأشياء.
your own ray gun the way you like kind of ray gun. Good old Ray.
أتوقع ممكن نلعب باثنين يعني يا إني أخليه مارك 2 أو إنه ألعب بيلو.
Doesn't end there.
يعني كيف أشرح لكم؟
If I'm
ما
not
أدري.
mistaken,
يعني
there's a new perk that's being
يصير مسدسين.
Yes.
أتوقع ما أدري. إيش دراني. كثير البث.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
I like it.
It sounds good already.
لكن في تعديل
Well,
شوية على
this
الرقم
one
مرة
I
2.
particularly like because what it does
شنو يا
is
خياس؟ ما
when you're
أتوقع
doing
بيكون
lockdowns
قوي.
and killing a lot of zombies and you have this perk activated,
أما الدوغز متحول. إيش
it will
هذا؟
spawn
لونه.
a wolf known as
What is
Luna,
this?
who will then fight alongside you, jumping up the zombies. And
هذا
killing
البيرك.
zombies. That's good. We've
شوف
used
هذا
it in
البيرك
the
هذا.
games, or in this map, the lightning hounds coming out.
اللي هو
It's
وقت.
nice to have a dog on our side again.
Yeah.
We've not done that for a little while. And the last one I think was the ghost dog in Der Eisendrache. At least this one's alive.
All right. So kind
سامج.
of looking ahead, peeking right over the top a little bit, take down the
إيش هذا
road.
البث بس كذا.
With
قاعد
the
أتابع قلت خليني
story in the next DLC.
خليكم تتابع
Where does it
معي.
all take us?
It takes me back to my office where I continue writing it. No, it is. It's gonna take us. We're so close to the end now. We're so close to wrapping up the story threads that we've been having for a long time. A lot of them are going to come together and coalesce within Alpha Omega. But there are other things within this map that are going to lead us directly into the next operation in our DLC 4. And there will be a lot of answers. There will be a lot of pain. There will be a lot of joy, and maybe a few tears as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to wrapping it all up.
All right. So let's just sort of.
أنا
let's
عجبتني
recap
البركات اللي فوق على
make
اليمين.
sure that we've covered it all. Huge narrative. Large,
دايم والله
I guess,
حلو البركات.
larger map,
ادوني
larger
بس بالثلاجة كمان.
Primus and Ultimus
Yes.
crew.
بالثلاجة والبركات بس.
brand new experience. Ray Gun Mark II, new perk. What are we leaving out?
إيش هذه شهادة
the secret
عندهم
things
شهادة
that
غريبة
we're
زدنا
talking
ما
about
علينا.
Secret things.
Because there's always, you know, back to your iceberg metaphor again.
Yeah.
What we've said today, it's a bigger bit of iceberg, but it's still
Like
not the
السلام.
entirety of the iceberg. There's as I
إيه
say,
هذا آخر
there's
ما
a bunch of
بينزلوه عن الزومبي لا لا.
ancillary and or guest characters, both
لا.
allies and
بنزلوا
enemies.
زيادة. عليكم السلام ويلكم أحمد.
Invest in them
منور.
quest. So lots to see.
Craig, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Welcome.
In honor of tomorrow's release of Alpha Omega, we brought along a little bit of gameplay. So here's a sneak peek at what is to come tomorrow.
يلا عرض جديد هذا ترى.
What is the next phase of our
هلا
journey?
نيكولاي. اوكي.
I wish I could forewarn you of what is to come.
شخصيات جديدة. لا قصة قديمة يعني. اوكي. دائما النغمة.
Show them no mercy.
في عداد اللي جنب اللوحة ديك. اوه
There is more to this facility than meets the eye.
Primary systems offline.
وات ما شفنا الوحش هذا. اوه في شكل دام. والله قلت لكم شفتوا يصير سلاحين. كنت عارف انا. هذا العرض اللي من اول صح؟ فاتك البيك الله يقلع شكلك.
Zombies continues to invade every other mode of the game, including multiplayer. And here to tell us what is in store.
ما بيلعب فيه 8 اشخاص.
Operation
لا
we have Tony
مو 8
Flynn, Miles
4.
Leslie. Gentlemen, welcome to the stream.
هلا والله مين دول؟
Awesome to be here, John. Thanks for having us.
All right, let's jump right into it. Let's get into kind of an overview.
دايم ديزاينر
let's start
ما ادري مين
with news
الثاني.
around Reaper. Tony, what did you bring for us?
Reaper is coming into the multiplayer game. We're super excited for that. He is bringing his scythe, his specialist weapon. It's a big machine gun, as you might expect.
حلو جايبين شباب.
It's a little different than you've seen.
الشباب عندهم افكار حلوه. هم جايبين ذاك العجوز ما منه فايده.
Different time period than Black Ops 3. So
حميد احبك حبيبي والله.
his minigun arm yet. What he does have is a giant double-barreled 50 cal machine gun.
يعني الواحد
So he
دخل
pulls that bad
شكرا.
boy out.
المو بخايف.
And
يب خايف يا
it's
رجال.
pretty
خلوه
straightforward.
اثنين. كيف
You shoot it, fire
كيف
the
بيمسك
bullet,
السلاح
the
طويل.
Please, hold on. For some of our newer players, can you please explain how that works?
Yeah, sorry, I'll slow down.
It's about yay big, and it does about yay damage.
Yeah, just
It's such a giant gun that only Reaper.
غير كذا السلاح يدفه. كيف راح يدفن كذا يا رجال ورا.
No mere
لا
mortal.
تحكم
could hold
قبل
it.
تجربة.
Yeah.
Correct.
Makes sense.
He's not immortal.
بلاك اوبس 4 كلها خايسة بس قاعد اتفرج
So,
كذا.
he's got two barrels. When you fire it from the hip, it's gonna be firing from both barrels, doing a lot of damage, and it'll be doing a pretty slow fire rate. But once you aim up, you're gonna zoom in a little bit, and that's when you really rev it up, and it's gonna be firing those things at an even faster fire rate, devastating against
شكله هذا حق الملتي بلاير.
players, score streaks, equipment, pretty much anything. You're gonna be a little bit slow and vulnerable while you're using it, though. So that's Reaper's specialist weapon. And to accommodate that, Reaper has got the Shroud, which is his equipment, his special
السلاح
issue.
بلاك اوبس 4 خايس.
So the way the Shroud works,
انك تقعد
it is it basically creates an area on the minimap that completely blacks it out for enemies. So you can't be seen by enemy.
بس اكيد في
fog or you
البلاكات
can't
في
be seen by
البلاكات
enemy
بيضعفوه
UAVs,
بيخلوه السلاح
anything like
بيطيرك
that. When
برا.
you fire your weapon, you don't show up. The whole area within.
إذا
this
واحد
shroud
يرجع
is
كذا ورا
blocked
مدري كيف.
is
اثنين ايش يسوي؟
blocked out to enemies. So it's a great
يطيرك
spot to get your whole team up.
صوب
You
اسفل
can just lay
تطير.
down fire with your scythe, and no one will know necessarily where you are based on the mini-map. They'll have to find you the old-fashioned way.
مخلين لونه ازرق مرة خيس والدوكس عليه كهرباء زرقاء مدري كيف.
With his scythe, and it creates some new gameplay opportunities where if you're trying to either hold down an area where your team's at and you don't want to be seen in there, you can do that, or you can, if you're attacking an
فاتك شيء؟
objective, you can
لا.
shoot the
برجع بعد
the
شيء
shroud.
العرض.
It fires kind of like the sensor dart, so you can shoot it at a trajectory at a distance, and that way you're laying cover for your team to advance.
Sure. Interesting way to play with the mini-map. Interesting. All right. So, but there's also some news on the party game front. What are we bringing with this operation?
So starting tomorrow, Sticks and Stones, the new party game mode,
هذا
for this
الملتي
operation is going to be the featured.
خلينا نرجع يعني ورا.
It's a party game mode, so you can bring your friends in. It's a free for all. We had a ton of fun playing just the other day.
Yeah.
So the way this game mode works, it's a free for all. You're fighting against everybody in there, and you load out with an explosive crossbow. Shoot.
اوكي هنا. هذا من
Hello
الالعاب.
everyone. I'm
دحين
John
بس
Mathis and welcome to
ان شاء
Treyarch.
الله تجيب
Get your survival gear out and your bug out bags ready because tomorrow we will launch Operation Apocalypse Z.
هذا ما شاء الله
Zombies
دائما
will
في
be
كل
coming to
يا رجال
every
كم سنة
mode
هذا؟
of Black Ops 4 and with zombies are coming to every mode. What better way to start talking about that than with our
عجبتني
zombies?
القبعة هذه
Let's
اللي
start
ورا
with that.
مرة حلوة.
This operation is an extremely exciting one for me personally because this one is all zombies.
Zombies has been a big part of what we do here at Treyarch. All the way back from World War
واضح واضح.
BO1, BO2, BO3.
مرة ما تعبتوا نفسكم.
Alpha Omega follows on from the two ether maps that we've already seen in Black Ops 4. We got to play as the Ultimus crew in Classified, and we got to play as the Primus crew in Blood of the Dead. And those players who managed to finish those two maps will now realise that those two groups of characters have met. And this brings us up to Alpha Omega, where for the first time ever, players are going to be able to play as both the Primus versions and the Ultimus versions.
seeing these two character crews come into one space is going to drive so much of the
ايوه طيب
interaction.
والله ماني داري قاعد اسلك.
How they interact with their space.
هذه الشخصيات القديمة اوكي.
I think you have me mixed up with someone else.
And the space is just full of Easter eggs and different kind of nods to different points of the Ether story because they do have an involvement there.
So now
يمكن يكون تحدي
you're
بينهم.
back
لا
in
لا
Newtown,
لا.
but it's not the
ما أدري.
Newtown that you've played before.
ما بلا.
This map
8
is 400% larger than the original map.
4 اشخاص بالضبط.
That means there's more places.
هذول
to
الشخصيات الجدد
explore.
صح؟ هذول الجدد.
There's more space above
هذول
ground
القدم.
and below ground. There's additional houses that you got to see
هذول
on the
الجدد.
block before.
هذول
Now you
الجدد.
can go in and explore those houses and see what's in there, what's going on.
Nuketown's
8 أشخاص يعني
because well originally it was a very small map.
طب كيف راح العب سولو؟ ولا بلعب سولو؟
hinting
شو الهرجة؟
about something much bigger.
Nuketown as a location.
يعني في هم ينقسموا
Such a big
ناس يروحوا
part
بنكر
of
مثلا ولا
this-
شو
the
الهرجة؟
zombie storyline, specifically the Ether storyline. So much has happened there, and so much that we
اسم
haven't really been
التمس
able to
أو؟
talk about or tell that story yet.
So at Nuketown's broken
تمسى
arrow
والقدم مش
facility,
هذا.
you'll find that there's been some secret weapons research going on. And these weapons are prototype ray guns that were developed at Broken Arrow.
We want players to
قاعد
feel
يصنعوا
nostalgia
ريغان في نيوتاون.
coming back to Nuketown, and we do that with those
وذولا
original
جايين
features.
يشوفوا
But
السلاح.
there's so much more to experience, and now that we've added new features and new mechanics, new enemy types,
A couple of them are based on
نيو انمي
Nova
تايبس.
6 crawlers. that
دوغز
you saw.
ازرق خايس. هذا مرجعينه هنا حاطينه بس مخلينه خايس.
Of these creatures.
خربوه
There's the
حكينه. شوف
jolting
مكهرب
jack,
صار.
And there's the Nova 6 bomber.
كيف صار؟ لا مكهرب.
Jolting
ايش هذا؟
jack is a creature that can teleport around and it can fire electric bolts at you.
ايوه اما يرمي كهرباء. العنب الخياس.
I remember playing through it and thinking,
تعلموا
this
من
is
كود
really
هذيك
something
ما ادري ايش
special
اسمها
that we have
الخايسه.
here. And then to see it
يرمي
come full
كهرباء.
circle, now we have an operation in Black Ops 4 that's fully themed for zombies, and we're pulling all of this narrative and all of this lore that we've built up over
انا مو
multiple
فاهم
titles,
هذا
multiple
شيء.
games,
رجال
multiple
الله معك يا
maps.
احمد.
Is super exciting to kind of see that all come to fruition. I think players are really going to enjoy it and get excited by it.
You just heard from Craig, from Danny, from Mark, and joining us here in the studio today is our lead writer, Mr. Craig Houston.
Good morning, John.
يا رجال هذا بنفسه مو فاهم تبوني انا فاهم يقول
All
You
right.
know what happened?
خلاص قدكم سمعتوا من مدري مين اساميهم. اي هذا مين؟
Good things happen in
ليد
zombies.
مدري ايش اسمه
At
رايتر.
least that's the plan.
والله ما ادري ايش
Well,
يعني.
it seems like there is quite a bit going on with this
boy.
operation.
Oh boy.
All things zombies.
قاعد عليه كرشه شوف
Within
الكرشه.
the zombies experience itself.
كلهم يشرب
there
بيرك.
is quite a bit of story to catch us up on.
Yes.
So the
ايش الضحكه ذي وقاعد يضحك هو؟
Alpha Omega.
ايش يطلع اصوات غريبه؟
blends a number of different experiences. Bring us up to speed on
Well,
what we
yeah, it's
شو
amazing.
السالفة؟ هذا ما هو
that
جديد-
quite a lot's
جديد في
happened.
الزومبي.
Quite a lot's happened so far in Black Ops 4, particularly with regards to the Ether story. We last saw our gang in 2 maps at launch, Blood of the Dead and Classified. I think it's probably fair to give some
أساس كان
spoilers
طالع
at this
من-
point.
اسكت.
I'll try and keep it light. At the end of Blood of the Dead, we saw the premise crew finally breaking out of the cycle. But more than that, we saw that Nikolai Belinsky has now assumed the mantle of leadership. Richtofen gave him.
خلوه خلوه هو الليدر شيب لا
Sorry,
هذا شكله عيال يرجع روسي هذا يرجع روسي.
Whereas over on Classified,
نيكولاي روسي هذا
we found
هذا خلاه
out
الليدر
that
شيب
the
شاي
ultimate
هذا روسي
versions of
هذا.
the characters didn't actually die on the moon. But more than that, at the very end of the map, they met the Primus version. So we had Primus and Ultimus face to face.
يا رجال ذاك
Where are we gonna go
السكير
from
النكير
there?
بيجي
Well,
فيهم
guess
العيد
what?
خلوه
Craig
الليدر
decided,
حقهم.
Let's put them all in one map and double the narrative workload. So that's what we did.
Well, let's
عليكم
talk to
السلام، هلا
you,
والله.
Craig, about
Yes.
this is
Welcome.
so. Whenever you talk about sort of the narrative workload, put it in perspective. Whenever when you take on an experience like Blood of the Dead, like Classified, you're generally talking about how many lines of script.
From 2,500 is probably an average. We've gone up above that sometimes on maps like Revelations, and that's split between our principal characters and any kind of audio logs or guest appearances that we might have. For Alpha Omega, it's actually about 5,500 lines. So when you've got Primus and Ultimus running around together in the same map,
حلو
in
الشفل اللي
combination of different foursomes, you know, it's fun to see how they react to each other and how they reconcile various differences. So, you know, beyond just all their dialogue, this is also one of the biggest maps we've ever done in terms of narrative Easter eggs. Let me just say, there's a lot of ancillary characters that you have met in the past, or if you've not met them, you've at least heard about them, and they are going to pop up in various ways throughout the map.
Well, whenever we talk about the map, which we're going to get into shortly, I mean, we're talking about an experience that, so from a narrative perspective, what, 500 lines?
Huge!
And the map itself is several 100% larger than...
Well, I mean, that's the big thing. I mean,
we'll get to it.
Do I start taking a look? Should we take a look?
Well, so...
يقول له خلينا مرة كبير. كبير مرة.
Well, I think the first thing is that, you know, there's been a lot of rumours for a while that we were going to be going to Nuketown, but as always, things are never as simple as they appear. I mean, the sign that you'll see when you arrive
هنا تبدأ.
Camp Edward, which
تقدر تلعب في الستروم هنا كذا.
isn't quite what people thought Nuketown was necessarily.
يعني لو نزلت ايش يصير؟ يعتبر دخلت الماب إذا ما هذا والله في الستروم نايس. أتوقع تقدر تسوي جليتشات ترجع هناك ورا.
Operated by a group known as Broken Arrow. And once you start scratching the surface, you're going to realize that, you know, the Nuketown that you think you know really is, I was going to say literally the tip of the iceberg, but that's not true. It's figuratively the tip of the iceberg. I think the overall map is many times larger than the original. I can't remember the exact proportion, so just say, if it was like that, it's more like that.
We've got a very complicated relationship with icebergs this year.
Well, we don't make stories. That's the key of our story. So just keep that to the side. Just keep that to the side.
Fair.
يا شيخ هذول بتات اللي يلعبوا. منه برا.
Talk just a little bit about the implications of having the Primus and Ultimus crews working together for the first time. How does that begin shaping our experience?
هذا قاعد يكرع. ثاني.
I think everyone knows that, you know, the main difference, the Primus crew got to go on a very kind of emotional journey, searching for their souls and trying to save them and everything.
Primus and Ultimus crews working together for the first time. How does that begin shaping our experience here? Primus and Ultimus crews working together for the first time. How does that begin shaping our experience here? Primus and Ultimus crews working together for the first time. How does that begin shaping our experience?
I think everyone knows that, you know, the main difference, the Primus crew got to go on a very kind of emotional journey, trying to save them and everything. Whereas Ultimus were a bit more goofy, stumbling around, having a bit of a laugh and not caring too much about the fate of the universe. Now under Nikolai's leadership, you know, obviously he's going to first of all find out that things weren't quite as simple as he thought, and, you know, Richterman always had reasons for keeping secrets to himself. Nikolai's going to struggle a little bit with that. Because once you've read that chronorium and you know what's coming, should you tell people, or do you try and just nudge them along, or did the book say that you never told them? It's a real can of worms, but like I say, getting the different versions of the characters in the same map, you really see the contrast, you know. Richterman, Ultimus Richterman, insane, utterly insane. I mean, Primus is only marginally more stable, but he's got kind of a mellower soul. Drunk Nikolai bumbling around looking for his vodka and going on about his ex-wives. As I say, it's kind of a reminder of how far the characters have come, and seeing what they do and don't recognize in each other is part of the fun.
Well, and you get to play as both. Yes. Well, tell us, was that a bit of a reunion of sorts? Was it a walk down memory lane from a narrative standpoint in terms of like how those personalities?
In a weird way, it's funny. I remember saying this when we did Classified, because we'd spent so long with Primus since Origins forward, really, and we tried to make them more realistic and give them a lot more emotional resonance, which I definitely think we achieved. You know, if you look at the Black Ops 3 season and all those death scenes, it was nice to see people crying as much as I actually cried when I wrote some of them, because
it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
It wasn't, but no, it's no laughing matter. You know, and that emotional journey that we'd taken them on, that was hugely important to me. So when we first decided to go back to Ultimus, little part of me was like,
هذا راند دوغز وإيش هذا كيف؟
They didn't have as much. But
هذا راند دوغز
once I
الزومبي؟
started writing the jokes again and making myself
شوف الزومبي الدوغز خلاهم
and
كهرب.
hopefully other people, it's no good if it's just me that laughs, but you know, so initially there was a bit of a resistance for me to bring back Ultimus because I thought we progressed the characters.
Yeah.
But doing classified and then doing this where we
يعني ما شاء الله غيروا خلوا الدوجز مكهرب. واو غيرنا سوينا شيء سبيشل.
So
اصلا ما كان فيه له دوجز
back to
الماضي.
town.
ايش يحطوا دوجز ويحطوا ذاك
take us on a
المخلوقات
stroll.
الغريبة.
Well, look, there's a bus.
شو اسمه
It's
هذا؟
not the bus.
كلاود
It's
اللي
not
يكون.
going
والله نسيت
anywhere.
اسمه. حق
That's
كينو.
not to say that Ted isn't necessarily going to appear somewhere down the line, but you know, he's a
بس اسمه
robot. It's
بالحميد.
kind of difficult to get rid of. So, like I was saying earlier, a lot of these areas are going to be familiar to people. Obviously, with a slight twist, there's going to be lots of, like every time we do.
إنها أماكن مألوفة بالنسبة للأشخاص الذين لعبوا الماب، ولكن
Like I said,
هذا
it
المكان
literally just represents
شوية فيه له
a small
تغيير
fraction
بسيط
of actually
يعني
what's
في
there.
small
So,
fraction.
you know, we let
You
people
know,
start off
yeah.
thinking they know what they're getting into, and then as they get deeper into the game, we obviously pull the rug out from under them, and suddenly they're in a state of panic, not knowing what's coming next.
يا غبي ما في نستكل لسه قاعد يطلع نشوف النوب.
Talk to me a little bit about
جاب الناس
the
من النوب.
lighting in the environment. To me, I mean, it's a beautiful looking map.
It is, and in fact, that's one of the things that the characters will talk quite a lot about. Is, in fact, I think it's Ultimus Nikolai. It says, "Who are billionaires who live in such luxury?" So they all have their impressions of what's going on in the map. But as you see now, we're starting to go into some of the lower levels, into the Broken Arrow facility, where like all our good scientific research groups, they've been doing all sorts of things that they maybe shouldn't have been doing, or definitely had consequences that they may not have expected.
As we find ourselves down here in the bunker, talk to us a little bit about kind of the size of the experience, because I'm seeing things in
في ريحة عفنة. إيش هذه الريحة؟
I haven't seen
في البنكر هنا.
Yeah, it's of a magnitude of 4, I think is the right way to say it. 4 times bigger. What you used to see was
قاعد يقلد نيكولاي مو
quarter
يرفع
of
صوته.
what's really there now. I'm just approaching statistics in different ways here, and none of them are very well. But yeah, it's at least 4 times the size.
إيه هذا النوب مات فرانك 5. شوف بالله.
What were some of your favorite elements to build?
تلبت إذن إيش هذا؟
Well, I mean, the biggest one for me
شيء
was
وراه
narrative to kind of
فخ
get
يمكن.
into the narrative
في ريحة.
history of the building. I mean, people.
الماء.
I remember people asking me years and
شو ريحة
years ago,
خضراء.
why was
في ريحة
Malton
خضراء.
in the bunker? So you know that's something that we're going to get to revisit a little bit, shall we say? So
إن شاء
I
الله
think,
الدوجز
you know,
تطور. الريحة تخليك
even
ما تشوف
beyond what
مضبوط
people
كذا
actually
لما
knew
تعدي
of
جنبه.
Nuketown, there was just a lot of very significant narrative threads that we knew that we had to come
زومبي
back
من
to.
كهرباء.
We-
يا
we
ما
explored a
أدري
little
شو
bit
وضعهم.
of Broken
خلوه
Arrow,
عادي
the comic
أحسن.
book series we did a couple of years
وخلوا
ago
المارك
with
2
the
أزرق.
crew.
يعني إيش
We saw
الهرجة؟
some of Russman's history to that. But this is much more of a deep dive, and you will get to see
هذا خريطة
some of
الماب.
the things they are
Sure.
responsible for, including some twists on
هذه خريطة
traditional
الموضوع.
enemies and traditional weapons. I think
فوق
we
وتحت.
saw some
أتوقع.
lightning hounds running around there who are a little bit of a variation on the usual.
يشبه قرد كرابي شوية ما أدري
A
ليه.
note for viewers. This
Yes.
is a sort of pre-release build. There's
الزومبي
some
الهبل
audio
ده.
there, so
Yeah, it might be some of mine. So if you hear a Scottish person or a robot yelling out, that's just because this build is before we had implemented in the actual actors' dialogue. And that's another thing. God, they had fun doing both characters.
but that'll
عوافي
send
عوافي
it
عادي.
tomorrow when it's out.
Yes.
Okay. So prior to just over the last couple of days, we've seen the ray gun Mark II.
Oh yeah, the ray gun Mark
غلط
II.
أصلا
on
هنا
social
الحل
channels.
الأول. ريجا
About
مارك
the
2
ray gun
ومدري
Mark
إيه.
II.
Well,
اللي
ray
بيشوف
guns have got a long history in zombies.
يروح يشوف القناة حقتهم حق
you know,
الترياق
people
أو
always
يعيد البث حقي.
like to see the ray gun coming back. And this
نشوف
time
إيش قاعدين
ray
يسووا.
gun Mark II is coming back with a very special twist. I don't want to explain exactly how it functions, but
قاعد يلعب ملتي بلاير.
sort of tie-in is down at the theater over
What?
here.
هذا
They're
بالثيتر.
having a film festival for zombie movies. So this is our sort of
هلا يا
nice
سعد.
nod to the zombies
go.
Operation Apocalypse Z. But this stuff's really cool.
إعلانات
It's really
الزومبي.
awesome, especially for some of the new team members to see some of the old stuff and how it's different and how we're enhancing it as well.
خايسة يد
This
الزومبي
one was
زرقاء
really fun to
حمراء
bring
أقصد.
back. It looks really gorgeous and
إيه هذا
really
هكر.
completes the package overall.
As we kind of wrap things up, any closing thoughts around
شي قاعد ألعب شيء اندمج.
I'm super excited. I mean, we've really tried to do a lot of different
زي
things
اللي
for
تقول حط لايك.
BO4, especially for the post-ship content. The
هاي
previous two
كنت
maps
اشوف
and this
مقطع
map
حط لايك
really
حبيبي والله
lean
شكرا
into
مشاهد.
providing different experiences
هلا.
to really enhance the next one and the next one and the next one. So hopefully players appreciate that we're kind of stepping out of our comfort zone and the team's really trying to push themselves beyond their limits in terms of creativity and design and art and visual.
There's also some other news on the infected front.
Yeah, we'll have game modes coming back, cycling through. We're not done yet. There's more coming. And of course, with the zombie-themed operation, we'll have infected coming back. Other game modes as well. Gun game's going to be coming back, and we're making a little change there. The ballistic knife will be the last weapon that you get, so we'll be switching out the weapons a little bit there.
اوه نايس.
Stockpile and a lot of.
اوكي حلو، في
modes
حاطين
coming
مودات
that
حلوه
will
بيحطوها في
rotate
الملتي بلاير.
throughout the operation.
عليكم السلام هلا والله.
Very cool. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Next up, we have one Mr. Matt Schrantz joining us to talk about all things Blackout. But first, let's check out this trailer.
بلاك اوت يا وات. ما بترانزت. واو جميلة. لا مو جميلة خلاص كنسل. What is this? اوه هذا حق ماب كول اوف ذا ديد تريديا. هذا شو اسمه هذا حق ترانزيت شو اسمه؟ والله نسيت اسمه. بلاك اوت يا عيال. ايش خياس هذا؟ هذا زومبي؟ هذا مو زومبي. هلا والله هذا قلب النغمة.
And there we have it. Just like we said at the top of the show, zombies will be coming to every element of Black Ops 4, including Blackout. And here today to tell us more about what that zombies experience looks like within Blackout.
يعني هذا حق بلاك اوت.
Matt Schrantz, senior game designer. Matt.
ما لها وقت.
Operation Apocalypse Z brings zombies.
حاط رجل على رجل. اقول نزل رجلك.
What was your approach? What are the
game designer. اوكي خلاص معلش.
Well, it's we've got a long history with zombies. Zombies aren't new to Blackout. We've got our zombie destinations with your basic wandering zombies if you happen to go around those areas. And with Apocalypse Z, we really wanted to see how we could further integrate that history that we have with zombies into the Blackout.
شغل الترجمة.
Gameplay, thematics, whether it's in our large Blackout map, whether it's in Alcatraz. So there are tons of ideas thrown around, and I think we've come away with some really nice stuff.
So I think maybe to get a better feel for how you're translating some of those themes, it'd be nice to take a look at a build. And if I'm not mistaken, you brought one with you. There we go. Boom.
Yep, there we go.
All right.
Yeah, so what we're going to take a look at here is our main map. And
هذا بلاك اوت هذا صح؟
is really what I was alluding to of really embracing that zombies vibe. You never know what's out there creeping in the shadows.
حاطين ضباب وكذا فما تدري مين بيجي.
Hydro dam, and visibility is low, John.
It's like you've taken me into like a John Carpenter film or something.
Yeah, we're trying to hit those notes. So this is what you're seeing here is the foggiest version of this map that we're gonna see in Apocalypse Z.
هذا بلاك اوت. اسم عبد الحميد سيبك من عزام.
Yeah, absolutely. So visibility and impacting that in gameplay. We have experience with that, even in Black Ops 4. We've put some things out there, and we've seen the feedback. So this is one that we want players to be able to opt into. And since players can opt into this map, we've decided to push that quite a bit further than we did on our the other main map, which has the fog pulled way back.
Sure.
But for this, since it's going to be its own featured playlist, I think for now we're going to start off in a
كلهم مصلعين.
on the
اخبط راسهم ايش يصير.
so I'm just going to hop right into a helicopter and we can kind of take a look at how
تكسر البيض. اوكي خلاص.
and
والله
really
امزح
try
يا
to
معلش.
embrace that vibe of zombies. So the waters are flowing red I'll leave that up to the imagination of everyone out there of why the waters are red.
Okay.
But that's another part of this vibe, this Apocalypse Z zombie.
ما تشوف
theming that
طيب
we've
طيارة.
pushed all throughout Black Ops 4 that we're taking a look at in Blackout here. So I'm smoking, I'm going down, it's inevitable. I'm gonna take a stop off at Asylum.
كيف اللي حيركب
One of my
طيارة؟
favorite places to drop, and I think it's pretty appropriate now that we're looking at our Apocalypse Z themed map. So just another small thing, but a fun thing that we've added in this version of Blackout that most of the players will be familiar with if you've played.
رجال
Alcatraz
مشوار
Portals.
تلقط.
We've added wall buys to Asylum. We'll be rolling out more in zombie destinations throughout the operation. On top of all the
أما في الجدار في
delicious
سلاح.
zombies related loot that you're going to find on the ground here, you can come here and you're going to find those wall buys throughout Asylum. And you'll be able to find some nice zombie slaying.
ما أدري متى ينزل ما راح ألعب.
Next year,
ما بتخايس.
you put
كل شيء
these
خايس.
zombie Easter eggs in here.
Ooh, it's possible.
What?
It's possible.
يقول لك ممكن يكون
Treyarch
في
has been
لغز.
known to dabble in the
ممكن.
eggs of Easter.
The dark.
احنا في لغز نقول في لغز وخلاص.
Dark arts. I won't go any further than that, but one could make the assumption. You know what? I'm not going to get in that chopper because it's. I'm going to do it. I'm going to chance it, John.
That would never slow me down.
ليه طلق على الطيارة؟
I've watched you play. I've watched you play.
بتنفجر.
So throughout
Hey.
the season, you're going to experience some very cool zombie related things in these maps and in this operation. One of which may involve zombies, may involve new zombie types.
Oh, you guys are mixing
ما
up
شفت إلا
zombies
الزومبي فين؟
AI.
Yes. Yeah. We are going to introduce new AI types, new zombie AI types throughout the operation. Some will be targeted to limited time modes. Some will not.
أعطيه ردة فعل بس تظل
And
يختك.
one thing that I
Hell
want to
no.
show you here is that
ليه
with
تبوني أنا
that,
يعني ألعب زومبي؟
say
يعني
you're
ما تبون
hiding
أي جيمر
in this
يلعب؟
room.
أو يسوي لكم ردة
How
فعل؟
safe am I?
You're not going to be as safe as you
اللي
once were.
يريحكم يعني.
So
حتى يضحك
on
قاعد.
top of the AI zombies,
shit.
we've added the ability for the AI to tear down doors. So if you think you're safe, you're not really safe. And then with the introduction of destructible doors, we've also worked that into how the players interact with the doors. So what I'm going to show you here is you're going to toss an explosive at that door,
تبغى تفجر البيبان حركات.
and the door is gone. So
The door
much
is
like
gone.
we did with the garage doors, which some of you may have noticed. I don't have a garage door handy here.
طورات جميلة.
But a few updates back, we added the ability for you to shoot the button on a garage door, lifts that. So it's going to be similar.
شوف الزرع
You're
الزرع
going to have to pay
تطير.
a little bit more attention when you're inside of a room. You're not going to be able to have that door safety quite as much as you once was.
If I'm not mistaken, there are a couple things in the trailer that we just watched that are going to be making their way into Blackout at some point during the operation, probably in a few weeks here. One of them was the motorcycle with the sidecar.
Yes. Very similar to the ATV, fast-moving, low health, but you and your buddy can ride along and pretend that you have your leather cap on and scarf flying in the wind.
Pretend?
Maybe that's just me, I don't know. But absolutely love zipping around in the motorcycle with sidecar. So new vehicle, yes.
All right. And then there were a couple familiar faces, but we'll come back to that in a bit. As you kind of look ahead down the road, there are some things sort of just
لازم
peeking
يحط
over the
رجل على
horizon
رجل.
here, and I believe that
جسم معفن شوف.
is on that list.
Yes. Like I said, we're really trying to embrace that zombie history that we have here at Treyarch. That includes, like you said, the zombie Easter eggs. Some of those Easter eggs inspired by some
جسمه
of the
كبير،
community's
رجوله
favorite
صغيرة.
Easter eggs on Black Ops 4 and previous Black Ops titles. And then that also includes some wonder weapons.
استغفر الله.
I don't want to get into too many specifics. You know, you may see an Alistair's Folly, you may see a ray gun here and there, but I'll leave it at that. I've teased, but there
ايش انا ابو معوج يا
Let's tease something else.
فك غلطة
hair.
Perhaps what's that?
Our hair?
شكلك
No.
No, no. Actually, we'll tuck that one away for later. So, for anyone that has been asking about Infected coming to Blackout, what you got?
Ooh, that would be fun.
What?
We should do that.
Take notes.
Yes. So, I mean, it was
شكله
kind of
من
a
يقرب
no-brainer
البعض
for
شوف
us.
نفس الصلعة بيرفكت
We're sitting around a table. You
نفس
know,
الانحناء
we're
شوف
playing
فيه
a
كذا
game
فراس
that
فوق كذا
revolved
فيه
around,
نفس
infecting
يقرب البعض
humans
مزبطين
and,
بعض
We do. It's
كأنها
infected.
مراية هاي
It's obviously due to Blackout and Battle Royale, last man standing, single life, circles. It's got to behave a little differently. So we've kind of taken that thought of survivors on this huge map, fog covered, and then how do we kind of integrate the infected zombies? How do players become infected? How
اللي على اليمين يشبه بريكن هيل نو هذا كم حد يشبه معليش لو سمحت لا
Can a
تغلط
zombie drive an Arav?
إلا والتر وايت
We
انتبه تغلط عليه
consulted with many zombies and not good drivers. Not good drivers. So yeah, that game mode is going to be called Pandemic because it's not entirely infected as the players know. But it is.
ترى لعبت هذه اللعبة شوف بلاك اوبس حقت بلاي ستيشن 2 اقصد كول اوف ديوتي
We've been
3
having a blast with it, and I
PlayStation
can't
2.
wait for it to get out there. And this fog really adds to the oh crap, what is going on there?
Certainly throws off a different vibe.
Yeah,
خلاص طيب عرفنا فيه ضباب وعرفنا
like I said, I've got my Outlaw here with the 3X, and it's difficult. It really gets in your head. So especially if you're going to play late at night, headphones on, lights off, you're in for a good time. You know, you're tooling around firing range, and maybe you see those targets moving back and forth, and you look at them. You know, maybe do a double take on those because several times in the playtest, it's you know, is that an enemy? Is it not? So yeah,
Do I risk it and give away my position?
Right. The answer is always yes.
Yeah, I like to take it a step further and just use all my bullets. Just
There you go.
all of them. Yeah. Matt, thanks for taking us through that. Really appreciate it. Before we wrap things up, though, I got to ask: is there anything that you are particularly excited about with Apocalypse?
Good question.
Good question,
I mean, I'm very excited about this operation as a whole. But as we've worked through these different things that we've been talking about, I think the one I'm most excited about is something that we haven't talked about yet, and that's Alcatraz, the version that we've cooked up for Apocalypse Z and the game mode that's going to be featured on that.
Do you have a build?
I do, John.
Outstanding.
I'm glad you asked. Yeah, so let's take a look here. Immediately, again, right off the bat, you can see a little bit darker.
Yeah.
It's nighttime in Alcatraz on the rock.
السطوح مو ضد هذا ولا ايش؟
So right off the bat,
يجيبوا فاضي
again,
كذا؟
really trying to hit on those creepy zombie vibes. And you're gonna have to be a bit more careful and a bit more methodical as you move through this. Let me get my level 1 armor. Story of my life. So on top of the night version of this map, the game mode that we're gonna release for Operation Apocalypse Z is what we're calling Alcatraz Portals Horde. And we know that people love Alcatraz Portals. It's one of my favorites. It's heavily requested. You know, anytime it happens to get removed due to it being a limited time mode, immediate tweets and Reddit posts about wanting to bring it back.
Your fault.
All my fault.
Totally.
I take full blame.
هذا قاعد يضحك مو فاهم شيء.
But that said, we really kind of said, you know, what can we do to that kind of core Alcatraz portals with portals redeploys? What can we do to amp up that zombie madness that we're going for? And that's where the Horde modifier comes into. So essentially we've just drastically increased the number of zombies. So when you're moving through this map, you're going to have to deal with a whole hell of a lot more zombies than you're used to. And we've reworked the pathing and navigation of the zombies. So in Alcatraz, they'll typically spawn in certain parts of the map, jail cell, parade grounds. We've reworked that so the zombies can spawn and navigate anywhere in the map, so you're never safe from those, on top of having to deal with the other players.
يعني الزومبي جايك لو ايش سويت؟ لو رحت منطقة فاضية برضو عندك
count of zombies.
يجيك زومبي جديد.
What we've also done is we've also introduced new AI types in Alcatraz. So you may run into a young man by the name of Brutus. You may run into a pack of dogs that typically go by the name Hellhounds, right? AKA Hellhounds. So, yeah, I mean, it's just madness. You get in here, it's 40 players,
يقول لك الدوغز قصدهم معرف بالمدري ايش اسمه.
and you're fighting all of them.
في
So,
بروتوس في مدري
a
مين.
little detail to mention is typically in Alcatraz portal hordes, well, not typically, the way it
يعني مو
works is you have
بالزومبي.
to kill a certain amount of zombies to unlock the magic box, right? With this, you're going to have to take down Brutus, the warden. So we've changed how the magic box works for this game mode, and there are a few little surprises here and there. But the main gist of that game mode, and it's why I love it so much, is it's Alcatraz portal's craziness kicked up to 11 with tons of zombies.
Kind of recapping, it's like between the sort of heavy and light fog versions, all the map changes that the team is bringing to Blackout in general, Alcatraz portal's horde, and then you've got Pandemic out there on the horizon, coming down the pipeline. Sounds like the team's been super busy getting this done.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We're always
في عصاية فوق حقت
working on
سبيشاليست خايسة
whether it's
كبيرة
the next
مرة
operation,
حطينا مرة كذا
the
بس.
new game mode, the new weapon. It's always fun. We always enjoy it. But this one has really, brought everybody together. And like I said, we've really embraced that Treyarch zombie heritage. And I'm super proud, and I know the team's super proud of what we're gonna share with the fans.
Awesome. Matt, thanks for swinging by. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
يلا انقلع.
Also today, we are joined in studio by a very special guest.
مين؟
Someone with a very long relationship with Black Ops as well as Treyarch, and also happens to be lead singer for one of the biggest metal acts of all time. Joining us today is none other than M Shadow's lead singer of Avenged Sevenfold and our director of audio, Mr. Brian Toohey. Gentlemen, welcome to the stream.
Thank you.
So
هذا
let's start
مغني؟
with your relationship with Call of Duty and
Yeah.
Treyarch. Like, we've
استنى
been working with you for a long
مين
time.
شايف
Like,
lead
tell us
singer؟
about your
هذا شغلنا
involvement
يا
with all things Black Ops.
Yeah, my relationship came from just being a huge fan of the game, and we were playing on the road. We were playing, in life in general.
Yeah.
And then an A&R guy of ours
شو اللي على يمين كذا كذا معصب.
passed away, but he knew Mark Lamia really well. And so
معصب
he said,
كذا.
you got to meet Mark. He, is Mr. Call of Duty.
يضحك.
So I met
والله
Mark. and we
الضحك
hit it
كذا
off.
بدون
We've been
نفسكم.
friends ever since. And then my
مو عارف والله احسه
crew,
متوتر
I
يطالع
was
يمين
hounding
يسار
him about questions
يضحك
about
هنا
Call of Duty
يمين
and this and that, and somehow I
والله
knew about
متوتر يا
it.
عيال والله متوتر.
Well, talk
اخيرا
talk a little
اخيرا
about
عرف
your
يضحك
relationship.
مضبوط
What's it
اوكي.
been like working with Matt all these
So
years?
it's been awesome. It started off really innocently because Mark Lamia just said, "Hey, do you know who Avenged Sevenfold is?" And I knew who they were. I knew
كنا
who they were, I
مزودوه.
guess. But I hadn't listened to a lot of their music, So he gave me a CD and I listened to it, and we had a celebrity map about to come out, which was called The Dead, and I thought, celebrity map, celebrity band, this all kind of works. So I told Mark, yeah, let's give this a shot.
نمشادو.
Well, I mean,
يب.
this relationship
يعني نفس اسمك ها؟
track going back to Black Ops 1.
درج الزومبي لا
you
لا
guys
بس
did
كذا قاعد
a
اتفرج
track
على
Not
البث
Ready
وما
to
خايف.
Die. There was Jay
بس خليني
Black
أشارك
Ops
معاكم.
2, Matt Hatter, Black Ops 4. I mean, tell us about some of these creative endeavors. Like,
ايه
what-
بدون تقلد
tell us
بسامي.
about the
هذا
inspiration and sort of what drew
هذا
us
اللي على
into
اليسار.
these songs.
المغني.
Well, for us, we'd never done like a collaboration or anything for anyone because we just were really precious with our music. We didn't want to put it in too many things, and we just felt
ما جابوا ذيك اللي تغني بارد.
it just wasn't our vibe. But with something like Call of Duty, we were huge fans of it. We were playing it all the time. It really helped me through a hard time when we lost our best friend and drummer, the Rev. I was playing a lot of games, and I met a whole network of people through the game. So it was more of an emotional soft spot for me and for the guys. And so with something like Call of the Dead, when we got the call,
اللي على اليمين ما يعرف ايش يسوي بس
make a
طالع.
new track instead of giving you guys something.
اسمع عنده هرجة بس كذا.
You know, put out
نعم نعم.
do something fresh. So
طالع فيه.
got together with this guy and we had some meetings and
This guy.
wanted to hear the storyline.
قال له this guy
We just
كذا بس.
incorporated everything that we could into that zombies experience.
That's a very modest overview of how that process works. I was talking to Brian the other day, and he was talking about how involved for a band that's
طالع في خوي يا اخي خويك ما قاعد تتكلم كذا ليش بطالع والله متأثر.
Well, I mean, the very first meeting we came in, I didn't really know what to expect because different artists work in different ways, and he came in and was like, I'm a huge fan. I play all the time. We were looking at an alpha version of Call of the Dead. Let him play through it a little bit, and he just kept coming back to the story. What's the story? What's the story? And at the time, I was doing a lot of the story
لا والله طلع عنده كلام كبير يعني.
And as most people know, we were really vibing with the community a lot. So while we had a spine of the story, there were so many loose ends and everything to keep track of. And I'm like, this would be easier for you to just read.
لابس نظارة ما يبي يبين الصلع. طب.
I'm like, okay.
واي.
So yeah,
خلينا نشوف
I
الصلع
gave him
تلمع
like
كيف.
an enormous amount of material. And
حط نظارة فوق راسه.
week or 2 weeks, and you came back and said, I'm going to do this from Rick Toffin's perspective, and that was that.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, that's so cool if these guys want to dive in. Sort of.
أحسن شيء تزحلق. قاعد تزحلق نظارة.
Well, now it seems as if you are the
معرق.
because
معرق
while
الصلع.
Operation 5 Apocalypse Z is out tomorrow, the M Shadow's character will be making an appearance in Blackout in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
So
career highlight.
From an existential point of view, like what's that like?
It's amazing. It's a dream come true. I mean, I think.
It's amazing.
I can't wait to see what kind of videos people make of my character and
You're
doing
riding
funny
around in a
stuff.
sidecar with Danny Trejo.
Well, yeah, the trailer looks amazing. But I'm really excited to see what people do with this. I mean, I've seen a lot of, I frequent Reddit a lot. I see a lot of, people saying they want the Avenged Sevenfold characters, especially after you guys made a video for us and at the end of, for Carry On. And people were like, just put the characters in there. And so now they get their wish. Our fans are going to have a good time with it, and I'm expecting a lot of, shenanigans with my character for sure.
When has the internet ever engaged in shenanigans? Really?
Yeah, this will be the first time, right?
Well, we've got M Shadows coming to Blackout in the next. For that, we'll keep people posted. But kind of zooming back out to kind of your life as a gamer, your lifestyle as a gamer. Rumor on the street is like.
معرق فورتنايت okay.
So
it's pretty respectable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, tell us what's going on in the world of gaming.
In my world of gaming, I've got pretty much a full LAN setup at my house because I have 2 kids and everyone has to play at the same time, or it's going to be problems. So I've got like about 6 screens set up. I've got everything. I mean, and we just play games. I got to limit them. Dad plays at night. And then they get upset now that I get to play at night. They're like, why don't we get to play at night? Like, because you're 7 and you're 5. But it's funny, like, I'll play games all night with my buddies, play with Vaughn all night, give him a chirp in his ear.
guys.
It's great. So if anyone wants stuff done in Call of Duty, you hit me up and I'll bug the crap out of Vaughn.
Note to self.
Yeah.
Very cool. But you're a big fan of the competitive scene as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I
think
I was like the first generation where
جديدة
you're still a nerd if you played video games, but it was the first generation that we stuck with it. I'm 37 years old, and all my friends game, and now it's become a cool thing. Yeah. But when I was growing up, it was like, you're not going to be able to make a living at that. You can't do any of this stuff with it. Why are you doing it? You're wasting your time. And we just kept playing. And now, now it's becoming a cool thing where I like to watch it. I like to watch the competitive teams. I like to watch FaZe. I like to watch watching the competitions, and I think it's great.
أنا أخويا يعني كلنا نلعب ومدري.
I mean, I guess.
أخي ورونا إيش في.
You wanted to work with us and sort of get involved. Now you're in the game. Like, what is next in the world of Black Ops, Call of Duty wishes? Like, what could possibly be next?
We need an Avenged Sevenfold level.
There you
we need an Avenged Sevenfold multiplayer map. Like, it's like a stage and you're running. I mean, who knows? All of our.
Let Vaughn know.
Oh, I've been bugging him about that for like 5 years.
There we go.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah. I need to meet the art department. That's what I need to do.
Next step.
Come on, guys.
We know.
Yeah.
We'll take a walk around.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that you guys would like to offer in closing?
Well, I think we're gonna have some music in the
ترجمة
Block that will
غلط
drop in
بشيرة.
now. Some fun stuff at Asylum, where they can unlock some songs and do some stuff. People that are in the know how to do that. And I think with the
لازم نحرك
zombies
يده.
theme of this, and it's darker, and how Blackout's taking a new look, I'm just really excited that my character is involved in this portion of it.
لا
I think
اول
it's gonna
انت
be
كيف قاعد تحرك الزبده
just gonna be
معناها
awesome.
انا لازم احش اي حاجه.
Very excited.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
Thanks,
man.
man. Appreciate it.
Matt, thanks for dropping by today. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
شفتوا طريقة المصافحة؟
That is all for
يعني
today.
قصده
Thank you
كذا
very much
رفع
for
يده
tuning in
شايفين؟
to today's broadcast.
ترى على
And
الاشياء.
tomorrow we will
فما.
see you online for the
شي.
launch of Operation 5 Apocalypse. Have a good one.
ايش اللي خلاص كذا خلصنا؟ done finish بس كذا ان شاء الله النت مشغل شايكة اوكي this is it كذا خلاص we finish you know وبس this is it you know يلا يا شباب بقفل البث انا يعطيكم العافية شكرا على المشاهدة العب جيم مقفل السوني والله لا والله شغال معليش بس يعني بعيد يعني ما بلعب لا فاضي العب ما بلعب ايش العب الزام اعطيني كيك اعطيك كيك وات اوكي يلا سلام الله معاكم يعطيك العافية يا لكل واحد كان في البث وبس خلنا نسولف عذروني والله يلا شباب فورتنايت مقفل المشكلة بعدين لا تقفل انا قلت راح ها اجيب المبزران وات بروح اتفرج المسلسل حقي بدل ضيع وقتي على البث الخايس من جنبه يلا البث مو حلو يب ادري تلعبي اسمع لا عزام ارسل لي بارتي يلا goodbye see you later goodbye everyone شعب يريد اعذرني يا تكسينج ام عبد يلا مع السلامة ويلكم باك عمر مع السلامة يلا طالع وشو مسلسلك لوسيفر بيبي والله نفسي اخليكم تتفرجوا معايا بس ببلع يا رجال اللي تبي في القناة لوسيفر لوسيفر والله مسلسل مرة حلو بس اول شيء بخش كذا اسولف كذا مع العيال عزام ارسل لي اذا تركز فيه يلا سلام جود باي مع السلامة see you later come on man مع السلامة